several years, his company, now with 26 dealerships all over Northeast Ohio, has been named one of the best places to work by the Plain Dealer. Ladies and gentlemen, up on your feet, up on your feet, up on your feet, and make some noise for the president of the Collection Auto Group in our 2014 Business Executive of the Year, Moreno!
It is my pleasure to introduce to you the 2014 Business Executive of the Year, Bernie Moreno.
Well, thank you, Len, for that very kind introduction. As Len said, I met Len when I first moved to Cleveland back in 2005, and he's one of the nicest, smartest, most civic-minded guy I know. But after listening to that introduction, I'm not quite sure you're the best judge of character, Len. Before I begin my brief remarks, I want to offer my congratulations to all the SME winners here tonight. Each of you represents literally the best of Northeast Ohio, and want to congratulate all of you on your award, so thank you. I'd also like to thank all of our team members and our senior leadership team that's with us here tonight. This award is much more about your efforts than it is about me. So if you could just stand up and be recognized, I would appreciate it. Thank you. But as is often the case, the boss gets to take the credit. So thank you guys very much for that. I'd also like to express my gratitude to the many friends of mine that are here this evening and made the trip out through the winter snow and the crazy roads. And I'd like to especially thank my best friend, my wife of 25 years, Bridget. Thank you. And finally, I extend my most sincere appreciation to SME Cleveland for my selection as the 2014 Business Executive of the Year. This award means a great deal to me for really a couple reasons. Number one, it feels like a strong affirmation that the decision Bridget and I made to move here in 2005 was the right one. And second, it really gives us validation that the idea that we've built the company the right way is on the mark. I must confess that prior to moving to Cleveland, I was having a pretty good run in Boston. I was working for and moving up within the ranks of a very large auto group, when, as Len said, Mercedes asked me if I'd be interested in purchasing an underperforming Mercedes dealership in the Midwest. Who knew Ohio was in the Midwest? I was interested because while I was working, I liked what I was doing, I was working for someone else. And I was really craving the idea of working for myself. So Bridget and I, as Len told the story, came here in 2005, cleverly disguised as customers, and even offered the salesperson at that Mercedes dealership the idea that maybe we were looking at a Lexus also. And as Len told the story, the salesperson basically told us all the reasons why we shouldn't move to Cleveland, let alone buy a Mercedes. So, of course, I was hooked, right? I saw the opportunity immediately. My wife cried for about half an hour, but I saw the opportunity right away, although we discovered Mally's chocolates shortly thereafter. That calmed her right down. And it was clear that the excuses for poor performance that he saw were part of a bigger problem. I mortgaged everything I had, moved to Cleveland a month later, bought the dealership, but never got a chance to deal with that guy. He quit about a week before I took over. And yes, he did go to work for the Chevy dealership that he so extolled when he was there. Not only has the company done really well, but Bridget and I have found a home. We've met great friends and have discovered Cleveland to be one of the best places we've ever lived. We've come a long way since then, and tonight I'd like to share with you some of the guiding principles that I think have helped grow and build the Collection Auto Group. First of all, you should love love what you do. If you're not doing something you love, then you're never going to be as successful as you should be. I love cars. I always have. I think I'm more excited about when customers get cars and order them than the customers are. They've been a passion of mine since I was growing up. I worked for Automobile Magazine while I was in college. I worked at Saturn Corporation during the summers. And I actually chose the University of Michigan because I wanted to be close to the center of the automobile business in America. It's also important in any business to set really high goals. I had very high expectations for myself when we moved here 9 years ago. Back then, the company did about $16 million in sales with about 20 team members. Today, we're on track to do about $750 million with about 750 team members. I'm not sure if I envisioned that struggling little Mercedes dealership into becoming what is now the Collection Auto Group, but I'm not surprised because we had a great group of people that came with us from Boston, as Len said. These 12 people came here, gave me the commitment that they would move their families 1,500 miles, and without them, there's no question we couldn't have built and grow the company like we did. So thank you guys again very much. High expectations. That's what our company really is all about. And I think it's all part of how we help people move up in life. I think that's part and parcel of the American dream itself. Our nation was built from its very earliest days by people with high expectations for a better life. It's the very reason young and old alike from all over the world want to live and move to America. It's the reason my mom and dad moved to the United States from Colombia in 1971. They wanted to give our family a better life, and they wanted us to have a place where we could pursue our dreams. And despite the efforts of some politicians in Washington, that's an aspiration we must keep alive in this country. You've also got to approach obstacles as opportunities. In 2005, that Mercedes-Benz dealership had sold 24 cars in about 6 months. So 24 cars during the entire period between January 1st and May 11th. I figured if I was there, I was going to mow each one of the customers' lawns, make them dinner, because at that rate, there wasn't a lot of else to do. But you know what? In the next 18 days, we sold 80 cars. And we just set a monthly sales record at that same dealership in December with 314 cars sold in 1 month. So you see, the past track record wasn't an obstacle. It was merely an opportunity to do better. And some people rue the cards they're dealt. Maybe they didn't finish high school or attend college. Maybe they think they're stuck in a low-paying job. Maybe they don't like their boss and don't see how they can get ahead. Worse yet, maybe they're hoping someone who believes in a redistribution of wealth will redistribute a little bit in their direction. I believe in a redistribution of opportunity. Give people the opportunity to improve their situation and have the faith that most of the time they'll seize the moment and run with it. It's the concept that built America in the first place. The redistribution of opportunity beats the redistribution of wealth every time. And perhaps that's the main reason the Collection Auto Group has grown so quickly and in such proportions. It's that we're always looking for new opportunities to grow the business, to make the buying experience fun, to create service departments that actually deliver exceptional client service. I like to say that we're in the memory manufacturing business, not the car business. Another thing I've always believed is that you shouldn't chase money. I was making more money in Boston than I made during my early days in Cleveland. But if you have a great idea and great passion for what you're doing, money will find you. How many times have you seen it in your own lives? So often people take a particular job because they think it pays more, or they opt to go into a certain business because they think they'll become rich. Experience has taught me it doesn't work that way. Money follows, it never leads. Another guiding principle for us has to do with marketing. When you decide what your brand, how to brand your business, the brand that you say it is has to be the brand that it actually is, the reality that truly exists. SME members know this and live this every single day. And as the leader of the company, you must personally be willing to be the representative of that brand. At the Collection Auto Group, our brand identity is where above and beyond comes standard. That's a tall order. But if that's who and what we say we are, the Collection Auto Group better deliver on that promise. And we work at creating and nurturing the culture of client service every single minute of every single day. Finally, as a sales guy at heart, you have to be optimistic to a fault. It reminds me of a story of the dad with two young boys. One boy, the perennial optimist, never saw a challenge as anything other than the sun shining on him. The other boy, the pessimist, well, he couldn't see anything but doom and gloom. The father, worried that both boys needed a reality check, devised a plan to shock them into the middle. On Christmas morning, he filled the pessimist room with every toy that a small boy could want. Wall to wall, floor to ceiling. He knew his son would wake up, discover all the toys, and forever see that life wasn't always as tough as he thought. The sun does indeed shine, so to speak. For the delusional optimist, he filled the boy's room with 4 feet of poop. Nothing could possibly be worse for a small child than to wake up one morning to that scene. Of course, the boy would be slightly scarred, may have to visit University Hospital's Cleveland Clinic for a few years, but the damage would be offset by having him understand that life is not always sunshine and roses, or at least that's what the father thought. So on Christmas morning, with a plan executed, he waited for the boys to wake up. When the father heard what sounded like horrible sobbing, he thought the plan had worked. However, the sobbing was coming from the pessimist room. Shocked, he opened the door, found his son crying uncontrollably in a corner. When he asked what was the matter, the son screamed, "Look at all these toys. They will break. I won't use them. They're going to need batteries. My friends are going to be jealous. They won't want to play with me. This is the worst Christmas ever." The father was appalled. He ran down the hall to the other boy and heard laughing and sounds of joy. Completely perplexed, he opened the door and saw his young son digging joyously through the horse manure. In shock, his dad asked the son, "What are you doing?" The son stopped his digging, looked up with a huge smile on his face, and confidently extolled, "There's a pony in here somewhere." So to all of us in this room, to SME, to my fellow recipients, thank you so much for the pony you've given me this evening. And for the sake of our region, let's leave here tonight and find a few more. Thank you.